And you started recording?
Mm-hmm. You got 28 minutes.
Okay, hi Karlyn.
Hey.
We're first going to start asking you how you got started writing.
I started writing in the 6th grade. My English teacher, brought me a diary, and it kind of all started there. I kind of started venturing into poetry my freshman year of high school when I saw this sign in my English classroom about LTAP tryouts. I didn't really know what it was, but I'm like, okay, this sounds cool. I'm going to give it a shot, and it just took my writing to another level.
Okay, like how was your first LTAB experience?
It was amazing. I think it was more of a personal experience for me. Freshman year, I'm a foster child. Yeah, so if you guys don't know. But I met my biological family when I came to high school. And my biological brother is the one who pointed out the sign in my English classroom. What? So my first poem for LTAB was really me venting, how I felt about a lot of stuff that was going on, how I felt about being a foster child, but also how I felt about my religious views and where I stood in the Christian faith. So it was a really personal experience for me, but it was something that needed to be shared.
Right, and you felt like that space really helped that for you.
Yeah, it definitely was an open space. Everybody, after me saying that poem, was like, oh, this girl is dope. And she definitely has a story to tell. And after that, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be afraid to share my story with anybody who needs to hear it. So my poems after that just became really reflective over things that I had been through, stuff that I had been seeing my peers go through, and just stuff in the world that had been bothering me.
How did the LTAB experience help you interact or affect your interactions with people at LTAB and then people outside of it?
Man, because of LTAB, I met some of the most incredible people. My poetry team at my school, we would have never, ever been friends or ever met if it wasn't for LTAB. We're all completely different. When I say different, I mean super different. You got one girl, she's very gothic, kind of like. Another girl is just really quiet out to herself. You got me, the kind of religious person, foster child, don't really want to have nothing to do with anything. But we come together as one, and that space is it's for us. And then being a part of LTAB, and you meet people from different schools. Although it's a competition, at the end of the day, it's not. It's we're all a family, no matter what school we came from, no matter what poem we were about to get up there and spit. We're all close. Some of my best friendships have been formed because of LTAB.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we pick students that do really well at the competition and make big effects to, work with us at different levels. So, how was, the Guthman Institute for you?
Wow. Yeah, I'm still reaping the benefits of the Guthman internship. It was last summer, and I got to work with a couple other youth from different schools on final projects. Mine was a chapbook. But that has just, I don't know, I still reap the benefits. Like I'm saying, Jamila and Nate, they'll hit me up hey, Karlyn, you want to go perform here? Or let's go to the Poetry Foundation. Let's do this and let's do that. We even have a group chat where all the Guthmans are still talking. Even though it's about to be a whole year later, we still keep in contact. We're seeing each other, graduate or go off to prom, or just being really supportive when it comes to the arts. So, yeah, it's definitely still affecting me.
Okay. How did that lead to the Aspen Institute?
How did that lead to the Aspen Institute? Last summer when I went, Anna hit me up and she was like, hey, by the way, you got accepted into the Guthman program. And do you want to go to Aspen? It just kind of came out the blue. But I'm because of YCA, I always find myself in some of the most fortunate situations. And I sit back how did I even end up here? What am I doing here? And yeah, that opportunity just presented itself. And even from that, I'm still seeing benefits. The people who run the Aspen Institute, Damien and everybody else, are a really big support of me. They support me in almost anything I do. I actually took a class trip to DC in March, and they paid for the whole entire trip. Even though it had nothing to do with the Aspen Institute, they're like, Karlyn, I want you to chase your dreams. Something's in DC for you, and you gonna go. And I was one of the only kids in my school who got to go because no one had the money. But out of the blue, they just randomly supported me, and it was dope.
How was the experience at that Aspen Institute? What happened there?
Yeah, that was a life-changing experience. I sometimes still sit and think about the debates and the conversations that me and a lot of the other student poets had there. It was just a time to reflect on art and what art can do in the world around us, how we can influence art, and also what does it mean to be a good citizen in society? Like, what does it take to make up a society? How should we act? How should we behave? So it was just really reflective on the artist as an individual. So it's really cool.
And what final art do you feel like you guys came up with to come, like, out of the Aspen Institute? Like, you guys feel like you came to any real resolution about how you're a citizen in this world, or how your art is going to affect change?
Yeah, I feel like we came to the conclusion that it's all about being brave. It's all about being bold. And it's all about storytelling. Like, you can't be afraid to tell your story or tell the story of, someone who can't talk for themselves. So we came to that resolution. But even so, like, it's still an ongoing conversation. I still keep in contact with a lot of the people I went to Aspen with, and we still talk about our artwork and how we're promoting it to make a difference. So, yeah.
What would you say, what is one of the big conversations you had at Aspen that sort of sticks in your mind still?
We read a story by Chimamanda Adichie. It's actually one of her TED Talks where she talks about the danger of a single story. She talks about how if we're going to tell a story, we have to tell the complete story. Like, we can't be one-sided with any of our responses or any of our answers. And that sticks with me today. Like, when I write poetry, if I'm going to talk about my latest poem was about my brother being in prison. If I'm going to tell that story, I have to tell the whole story. I can't, like, shortchange it or tell only his side of it. Let's talk about the whole injustice of the prison system, or let's talk about, it from the administrative point of view. So that sticks with me.
You want to talk about the Kennedy Summit then?
Yeah, the Kennedy Summit just happened a couple weeks ago. Even that was a surprise. I really didn't know I was coming, but I'm like, okay, once again, I found YCA has brought me to this fortunate situation where I'm here, in DC again for the Kennedy Summit. It was also a time where we got to talk about art and its role in education and technology. I actually ended up performing a poem there and sitting on a panel with some pretty renowned people. Alfred Woodard was one of them. Me and her has been really close actually since the Aspen Institute, so it was really cool being able to sit down with her and discuss her ideas and details about art, and also to hear her perform poetry and for her to hear me perform poetry.
What would you say is art's role in education and technology?
I feel like if let's say a student has trouble learning, like book work just doesn't come easy to them, we should be able to incorporate art in a way that they can learn it. Like, let's paint a picture for them, let's tell a story to them, or let's put poetry in their education so where it influences them. I remember in Kennedy Center we had a debate on if a city was going bankrupt and the only thing that can do to save the city was to sell all the art, will we sell the art or not? And it was just a time for me to think, like, should art be saved in the world? Like, what is art's place? Like, if a city was going bankrupt, would we sell the art or would we keep it? And I came to the conclusion that art is necessary, and as artists we should do everything to protect the art, protect it from people who don't believe in the arts, protect it from anything that could be a danger to it. As artists, it's our goal and it should be our mission to keep the arts alive. And that's what I took from the Kennedy Center.
We hear that you were the only student there. How was that?
Honestly, it was mind-blowing. Not only the only citizen, but probably only one of the only African Americans there too.
Wow.
Here I am sitting in a big room with nothing but, whites, older whites at that, and I'm like the only young person there, and I'm constantly voicing my opinion and voicing my concerns. So I think it was, eye-opening that I can share a space with such renowned people and also be the young African American that I am.
And what would you take back to, like, other people your age and voicing their opinions in rooms full of people that don't look like them.
Don't be afraid. Like, you have something to say. And I'll say that to any young person, whether you look like me or whether you don't look like me. If you're young, you have a voice, and you shouldn't be afraid to use it. Don't be afraid. Even if they look older than you, even if they're well educated. Here I am with Harvard professors, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to a school in, Illinois, no big deal. And they're like, oh, I teach at Harvard. It's not a big deal. Like, you have a voice, and you should be able to use it. And it's all about being bold and putting it out there, because at the end of the day, you have something that the world needs to hear or see.
Demetrius was saying how you played a big leadership role in your LTAP team this year because it was sort of on the fence about whether you'd even have one.
Yeah.
What sort of went on with that?
Yeah, our team, we dealt with a lot this school year. A lot of us were seniors, so it was a big battle of making that transition to college and keeping up with AP courses, but also still being dedicated to the team. And unfortunately, our coach wasn't able to, be there 100% for us this school year. But I'm like, no, we've been a team for 4 years now. We're gonna make it. We're gonna do this. So I'm like, no slacking now. We're gonna pull through. And we might not have gotten to finals, but the place that we've gotten this year, I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of the work that we put in as individuals, as a team. And as far as writing our poetry, I'm proud of seeing a lot of my teammates grow in their writing. One member, he never recited poetry. Like, he's on the team, but he's not good at, voicing himself. But this year he really stepped up to the plate and voiced a lot of his concerns and a lot of his struggles through poetry.
How would you say that your team has grown since freshman year?
We've gotten really closer. We're able to understand, and we have a greater appreciation for each other's art. Freshman year, I came in with my poem about, my struggles as a foster kid, but also my struggles in religion. And I could feel people looking at me like, oh, she too religious, or she too this, and she too that. But now it's like, my teammates support me, in the things that I write, and they're more caring and more concerning. Some of my other teammates, they struggle a lot as well, and now we have a greater empathy for each other. We're able to, work together despite whatever differences, or despite that we're not all alike. So.
And how have your experiences with LTAB changed your writing since freshman year when you started?
It's changed it greatly. It's pushed me to write on different levels, not just looking at what's at the surface or saying simple phrases or whatever the case may be. It's just pushed me to write deeper. But not only write, it's pushed me to read more, be more involved in what other artists are putting out, taking as many poetry books as I can, studying other people's artwork and getting a feel of why they write the way that they write and why they do things that they do, and learning from that. I think that all artists, as much as you put out artwork, you should be, reading and taking in as well. So YCA and Young Chicago, that's the same place. YCA and Louder Than a Bomb has definitely taught me to definitely read more.
That's awesome. So you're a senior.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
What's next for me? I am attending Trinity Christian College. It's a private liberal arts school in Palos Heights. There I wish to study social work. I have a big passion for helping people, probably because I came from, the foster system myself, and I know what it's like to grow up with a lot of identity issues and to just struggle to find you and your own voice. So I would love to work with elementary kids doing that. But that it doesn't stop there as well. In the greater future, I see myself owning a community center, and it's definitely going to be dedicated to the arts. Anyone with a passion for music or poetry or singing or drawing, it'll be a space for them to just interact. My school doesn't have a poetry team, so I'm looking forward to putting that place there. Even if it's not a team, even if it's just a club, I'm looking forward to bringing those ideas to campus.
How did you pick Trinity?
Well, I knew I wanted to go to a small school. I knew I didn't want to go super far. A lot of it was just based on how I felt within. I told myself junior year that I wasn't going to go to a school based on financial. Like, even if I felt like I wanted to go to that school, I wasn't going to let finances stop me. And definitely Trinity was an expensive school, but I pulled my way through. I did tons of scholarships, and I just felt like it was a place to be. It's a very community-oriented school, and I really love that about it. That because it's small, everyone knows each other. Professors know students 101. Students know, the admissions counselors and all of that other stuff. And I really love the environment. And then just going in, seeing how I can influence change in the school, that also made me really want to go, because it didn't have a poetry team, or because, I was aware of some things that I could probably start, like a day without shoes. That's a national day where, people walk around without shoes to raise awareness of people in third world countries. Just a lot of different things that I saw I can do to influence the school, and that really drove me to, go.
Right. So there's an 11, 12, 13-year-old kid out there with some identity issues. What advice would you give them right now?
As you search for your own self, don't let other people influence how you feel about yourself. If you feel like you want to wear dresses all the time, wear your dresses. If you feel like you want to wear the fro, wear your fro. Just because the media says you have to look one way, you don't. If you feel like that's not you, be the person you think you are. Definitely use those outlets that you like. Like for me, I like to write. So whenever I'm feeling some kind of way, write it all down. If you love listening to music, use that as your venting source. If you love reading, if you love drawing, if you love bike riding, do that. But those experiences would definitely build your character and help you find out your inner self.
Coming from like the background you did as a foster child, and then making this home with your poetry team, like what would you say is family to you?
I've just been so blessed to meet a lot of people. But something that I have learned throughout my high school experience is that family doesn't necessarily mean blood. Just because we got the same blood running through our bodies, that doesn't necessarily mean we're family. Family is anyone you can relate to. You can feel on a deeper level. I relate to my poetry team because we're all a bunch of artists together. I relate to people who love to love because I love to love. So I feel like it's anybody you can relate to and you can build with. So that's pretty much how I build family, just off of vibes. Like if I can rock with you, if you got a cool vibe and I know you're about something and I'm about something and we can change the world together, hey family.
That's real.
Yeah.
What's your favorite stuff you've been reading or listening to lately?
Actually, I just am on number 9 of Surf. So I've been listening to that on my way here, and I've just been really feeling the project. Also, I've been doing a lot of reading. I've been reading a lot of Toni Morrison just this entire school year. And she's just so dope. I love the way she can just tell a story and be real about it. So I love that. I also just finished a literary criticism paper on Shakespeare. Never was really that detailed about Shakespeare, but his writing has really got me thinking, like, dang, this dude was really about something.
Plus, we just don't understand most of it.
I know, right?
It's too old.
Like,
I don't understand this joke.
It sound good, but you know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me to have to sit down and critique him, it's like, how do you critique Shakespeare? But
Yeah.
I pulled it through.
Any last questions? Any last words?
I think I'm good. I just want to thank Young Chicago authors. Like I said, these last 4 years I found myself in some of the most fortunate situations, from performing or to just being around a group of performers. It has really blessed my soul. And I know not a lot of young people have opportunities like this, which is why I definitely try to spread the word and encourage people to get out and find programs that you can relate to, that you can be involved in. So I'm just thankful.
So it was great talking to you,
Thank
Karlyn.
you.
Thanks.
You're like wise beyond your years. She's wise beyond her years. No. All right, that was awesome.
All right, cool. That's it, guys.
He's up front. What's up, Anna?
I said peace out.
Is Kevin here today?
No.
No.